All right, welcome back to Hope at Dawn, right here at Hope TV, where you look and live. My name is George Gishuru. Time for the newspaper review.
Absolutely. And my name is Beatrice Nudi. And of course, it's time for us to have a look at what is being reported on our newspapers. And the very first top story here, Gigi, is very interesting.
Yeah.
Revealed 54 billion shillings Ruto budget wastes. Listen to this. An analysis of government expenditure reveals at least 54 billion shillings wasteful spending, explaining President William Ruto's directives to state agencies to slash huge allocations to hospitality, travel, confidential kitties, and overlapping roles. Hapa naona hapa hospitality over 3.7 million allocated. We have fuel and lubricants 980 million. Okay, it's actually 3 billion, not even 3 million. 980 million. Servicing vehicles 358 million. And that is plus domestic and foreign travel 14 billion. And then we have other operating expenses, 32 billion, uko juu yani. Others, 2 billion, totaling to about 54 billion. And that is the money that is being said to have gone to waste, which is a very, very devastating story.
You're saying that, and it reminds me, Kenya does not have a revenue problem. It has been said over and over again.
Oh, yes.
It's not a revenue problem. It's an expenditure problem. So in as much as you overtax, you increase taxes, you double tax, triple tax, so long as the wastage continues, there's nothing we are doing. And you see, some of these things, we can avoid them.
Yeah.
Especially hospitality, in an office setup, some of these things, you don't need them. If I love flowers and I'm employed in this particular office, I don't expect Hope TV to buy me flowers for my office. It's a luxury for the office. But if I feel it's a necessity, then I dig deep into my pocket
and buy the flowers.
Oh, yes. If I want to treat people in my office, I don't need a budget from the organization. I can have my own budget. Then also, that's why we are in an office setup. We are coming to strike business transactions.
Yeah.
So can we avoid some of these things and we leave the catch-ups and treating people for the weekends using the salaries that people are earning, you know? So for me, I still continue. We don't have, I agree and concur with people who continue to say it's not an expenditure, a revenue issue.
It's an expenditure
issue. And so long as we continue with the empty rhetoric, you know, just saying things without really putting the same into action, it will, all these austerity measures, you know, at times the president announced them out of duress from the protest, following the protest and everything. If there's no conviction, there's nothing we are doing. If I ask you why you need a leader, including the president, why should a president have a motorcade of 15 plus vehicles? Why? You know? Yet those are funds, fuel. You've mentioned something to do with fuel, maintaining these vehicles and everything.
Very high.
It's a lot of money at the expense of the taxpayers, who is not even able to even put 3 meals a day. It's unfair.
It's unfair. Some kids don't even have food in their schools. Food that was being given for free. That actually, we did a story some time back that it had been cut off. And when we looked into the analysis, you realize that actually that went to the deputy president. Almost a similar amount for...
Or even buying new vehicles. I saw them, they were saying that we have set up apart, I don't know how much, was it 800 million to buy new vehicles? I was like, wow. Kwani they're using bicycles now. They don't have any means, but anyway, just my thoughts.
And those are very valid thoughts. I see Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's office got a 141 million shilling lion allocation for fuel and lubricants. I mean, come on, 141 million, and that's his office. So how much more is going to waste,
Yes.
literally to waste. And
Yes.
this is what Kenyans are crying for.
Yes.
We cannot be paying taxes and we are funding the expensive
Yes.
lifestyles
of
our
other
leaders.
people.
It
No,
doesn't make sense.
It's not fair.
Mm-mm.
It's and they're the same people who are earning
Yeah.
the highest amount of salaries when it comes to salaries.
Yes.
So and then of course we are using more money to finance. Should I say their luxurious life, because it is luxurious.
Yeah. Oh my, may God help us, and may we continue to pray for our nation, even as we continue to definitely stand in the gap and, cry out for freedom. And on the same, we are seeing here protesters found dead, others missing. Very, very sad. Franklin Ondwari went missing on 17th July during the anti-government protest in Nairobi County, only to be found dead in a toilet. So this is really, really sad. Again, I see the people who abducted her, that is Shelmith, were wearing masks and armed. It is due to the sensitivity of this matter that the family does not want to talk about it publicly. One young woman who was abducted in Nairobi was dumped in Uganda and threatened to never return to Kenya. And there is big concern as youth has been found dead and others are still missing. This is very, very sad. I mean, why is this even happening? It's really, really sad. And I see here for 2 weeks, the family of the deceased kept searching for him in various places, including police stations, mortuaries within the city, and various hospitals in vain until he was found in a toilet, actually being late. So it's really, really sad. And
unfortunate. Sad story.
So many are still missing, and Kenya needs answers. I mean, we can't keep having this happening because it makes no sense. No son, no daughter deserves to die such a death.
No
mom or
and
dad
especially
deserves that.
Allegedly in the hands of state agents. It's unfortunate, but the president during the town hall in Mombasa, he was saying if any family has someone who is missing as a result of the abductions, the alleged abductions and everything, they should forward their names so that he handles the same and pick up the matters with the relevant authorities. So I hope the same can be raised to the same to give them closure.
Give them closure. It's really, really needed. And I would love to touch on a story here. State at last submits Raila's bid for Africa Union Commission top seat. I don't know what they're saying on the Standard.
They're saying on the same, Kenya submits Raila's name for AUC elections to take place in February next year. A candidate must be selected by consensus or at least a 2/3 majority vote by member states. And the elections will be held during the 38th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union in Addis Ababa in February 2025.
Okay. And I see Foreign Affairs PS Coril Sing'oei saying here that this decision is informed by Mr. Odinga's Pan-Africanist credentials, his suitability, his vast network across Africa, and his proven competence to lead AUC. So we wait and see how this pans out. And still on the Daily Nation top page, you see uphill task for CS nominees amid public objections. That's a story on page 8. We continue to follow up on this.
And I saw the vetting rather will commence on the first. Is it Friday? It will actually be happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Even Sunday, the committee will be sitting. So all those who have been nominated for the CS positions, watapigwa msasa from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before, or if they are approved by the House and everything, they will be formally appointed to take over their positions.
And I see at least 20 petitions and hundreds of memoranda have been submitted challenging their suitability for office. I see it's a 4-day exercise that will be keenly watched by the public as Ruto races against time.
Question
to
is,
set up new look.
Will Parliament go against the president's nomination? That's the big question.
That's the big question, because that's gonna be very heated. People, I'm sure they will be very close to their TVs on that day. But in the county news, just one story I'm going to touch on. I see counties rule lost revenues in war against against illicit brews dilemma. Many governors have drastically reduced the number of alcohol outlets in their counties. This is a story on page 20, and governors have faced a headache balancing the need to support the fight against illicit liquor with the demands of revenue collection. This is where now standards and and compromise comes in. Okay, we remove the illicit brews, but we still want the revenue that comes out of it. But anyway, very funny story. Look at it on the Daily Nation, on the County News, and on the Pullout DN2. Healthy Nation, no more health trips to Tanzania. Remote community in Kajiado gets its first health center, saving children and pregnant women from torturous treks to the neighboring country in search of medical services. I mean, at least one good thing is happening in our country. You know, we cannot only focus on the bad things. This is actually good. You know, Kajiado has gotten its first health center. So now it's no longer a matter of people having to take trips to Tanzania to save lives. And coming to the back page, I see KRA on the spot for attempt to recruit academic failures. Audit has poked holes into KRA's internal controls, especially its e-recruitment system. A story on the back page. I see Miss Nancy Gathongo here saying review of the recruitment process revealed that 69 applicants with grades below D+ participated in aptitude test 1 below D. Kenya ni connections, hivyo ndio wanakuambia. Bila connections ngumu. But page 30, Brazil, how we prepared to overpower Malkia strikers in 3 unanswered sets. This is a story on page 30 regarding the Paris Olympics. And of course, I also see page 31, seizing the Olympic stage to tell the Kenyan story and to attract visitors is an opinion segment here by June Chepkemei. Olympics presents an opportunity to affirm Kenya's rightful place among the community of the nations. That's it for the daily.
Right. Quickly, let's go through the Standard, and they go with the headline: tight corner, confidence vote. The deputy president's fate hangs in the balance after a night meeting at the house of a senior government member discussing his impeachment on grounds of insubordination and pushing for tax rebellion. It's a story you can read on page 4, and there is a quote here attributed to Embakasi North MP James Gakuya. The impeachment threat has been making rounds in our circles for long, and it is now high time it is actualized as opposed to being used to blackmail Gachagua. It's a story you can read on page number 4. And the more I see these challenges the DP is facing, the more I laugh, because I remember during the campaigns, the then Deputy President William Ruto saying during the campaign trails that once he is elected president, he will not allow his deputy president to be subjected to what he had been subjected.
But now.
But history, they say history repeating itself, right? So read that story on page 4. I also see William Ruto show president goes all out to woo Kenyans, meet the people. The president has started a series of town halls where he engages Kenyans. He picks questions and moderates the sessions as well.
Oh, wow.
It's a story you can read on page 2. So I welcome you to this town hall. If you have a moment, please ask me whatever questions you have in this space, because I am here to answer those questions. And I'm glad that he is answering the questions and meeting the people. But can we see actions? For me, as a head of state, and not just a head of state, anyone with a position of influence, actions would speak louder. Than words. You remember Mzee Kibaki, the late? He never spoke. He never spoke much.
True.
Actually, people thought it was a weakness. But for me, I think I like that style, because you didn't even know his next move. You know, because Jama, what is he thinking? But of course, actions, free primary education, all those things, the roads, you know, Thika superhighway. So actions. Mzee kwa hivyo ananyamaza, is working. But anyway, different people have different styles of leadership as well. Then I see after the CSs, Ruto acts to land on PSs. So a directive that principal secretaries will be fired if Auditor General establishes audit queries is pushing some of them to consider quitting the public sector. And yeah, if you are not ready to be audited, if you are not ready to be asked questions, I feel also if the kitchen is too hot.
Hanguka nae.
And yeah, so that story you can read on page 6. I also see Mbadi-nomics. Will he thrive? John Mbadi has been one of the fiercest critics of the Ruto government's handling of the economy. The shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah.
Will he introduce policies that will stem tide? It's a question that you can read and get to see if they have the answers on page 8 inside the Standard. I also see we had mentioned that on Raila. Then we go to ODM's dalliance with Ruto leaves opposition team groping in dark. The affiliates of Azimio la Umoja have announced their intention to exit the coalition. The coalition partners want Raila to declare his stand. And Governor Senator Barry the hatchet to boost service delivery, that is in Uasin Gishu County, between Governor Jonathan B. and Senator Jackson Mandago. We go to the pullout. This morning, the Financial Standard pullout. Will Wandai dismantle cartels he blames for high power cost? This is Intri Full, Energy and Petroleum Cabinet Secretary nominee, told MPs he had a dossier detailing how deeply entrenched the cartels are and that they have captured the electricity sector. Now he is the man at the helm, if approved by Parliament. So it's a story you can read on pages 24 and 25. The county section, illegal fishing flagged for high rate of school dropout conflict. Tens of high school students have ditched school in Naivasha. In Turkana, some 3 people were killed last week. Read that. I also see Nithi Bridge needs 1 billion shillings, 1 billion shillings for relocation and redesign. Over the last 4 decades, the Nithi Bridge black spot in Tharaka Nithi County has claimed tens of lives in horrific road accidents. You can read that as well there. When we go to the back page, the sports page, Kenya's wait for first set win at Olympic goes on. Kenyans take pride despite losing to heavyweights Brazilians. Tuka Adhiambo among players who made Olympics debut. And the African Queens, their wait for their first victory at the Olympics continued as they fell 25-14, 25-13 and 25-12 against the second-ranked country in women volleyball at a fully packed South Paris arena. And next up for Kenya will be tomorrow against Poland before they finalize their group matches against Japan on Saturday. I also see the same the Olympics, the Paris Olympics coverage continues on page 46 and 47. Will Chepkoech overcome the hurdle and bag gold in Paris? You can read that page 46 and 47. And Shaswat wins Kabete Junior Challenge Trophy. You can read that on page 45. And then I see Slot Elegance replaces Klopp's heavy metal football. Harvey Elliott says Ancelot's style of play is a typically elegant Dutch style compared to Jurgen Klopp's heavy metal football. You can read that on page 45. Quickly, the Business Daily.
Yes.
I see insurers hit as protests add to losses from recent floods, political and climate-related risks to drive up claims, raging anti-government demos fueling property losses. I also see Moody's downgrades KCB Equity Corp rating on debt risk. You can read that on first page and page number 2 as well. And lawmakers shine spotlight on 400 billion shillings state service fees. Read that on page 4, and a lot is happening. I see a quote here, Mohamed Doyo saying policymakers must strike a balance between the necessity to preserve food security and economic stability.
Amazing. Wow, we've come to the end of the newspaper review. Now we are informed, but also we know how to pray lots of things to thank God for, but also we need to continue praying so that the will of God will be done on our nation, and that our leaders will be filled with wisdom, and that they will lead us in a manner that, you know, can take us in a manner that we are going to advance as a nation and progress and also develop as a country. So right about now, we are going to now be ushering in the video of the day. But remember to catch up with our news right here on Hope TV at 7 p.m. and also at 9 p.m. and at the top of every hour on Hope FM. So let's have a look at the VOD.